How did Spartans turn boys into men? Spartans raise their boys in a controversial way. Some say it's the worst thing you could do to your child, but others think it's something we're missing in today's world. Either way, get ready for an epic story about a boy being initiated in the Spartan way. In the heart of ancient Sparta, a young boy called Leo had just woken up. He had a miserable night's sleep. It was his last night sleeping at home, as in 1 hour he was leaving to initiate the Spartan agoge. The agoge was a brutal training program for young Spartan boys. Its goal was to turn a 7-year-old boy into an elite warrior by the time he reached 20. If the boy failed to meet the standards, he would be excluded from the military and humiliated for life. If he succeeded, he would become a respected member of Sparta and have the opportunity to join their legendary forces. While Leo was eating his breakfast, his young brother came in. With his eyes filled with genuine concern, he asked Leo,
"Are you sure you can do this, Leo? Why don't you just stay home with me?"
Leo wanted to prove his family so badly, but deep down he knew he wasn't ready yet. Soon after, Leo's parents came in. It was time to say goodbye. His father, a seasoned warrior, gave him a firm handshake and a stern nod of approval. His mother, unable to hold back her tears, whispered a prayer for his safety. After a few seconds of hesitation, Leo turned and left home. He knew that he was not only leaving his family, but also the life he had known. During the agoge, the boys lived in the barracks near Mount Taygetus. Each day began early with the barkling call of their Spartan mentor. They started the day with physical training, which included a mix of endurance and strength training. Later, they gathered at the mess hall where they got meager rations of simple but nutritious foods. In the afternoon, they went to the gymnasium to practice combat skills. By night, they were so exhausted that they collapsed in bed in search of relief. But the shadow of the mighty mountain outside reminded them that their journey was going to be tough. After a few months of training, the Spartan mentor called Leo for a chat. His mentor, named Lycomedes, was a stoic figure who was both wise and strong. With the worst in mind, Leo approached him quickly. Then Lycomedes said,
"You've made some good progress, Leo."
But Leo's excitement turned into dismay as Lycomedes then told him it was time for his first real trial. This first trial was about testing Leo's survival skills with an insane physical challenge. Leo had to go by himself to the top of Mount Taygetus. But here's the catch. It was a dangerous journey, and he wasn't allowed to bring any equipment, only light clothing, and it was an extremely cold winter. Leo had 2 friends who had already gone through the trial. None of them had come back. He was praying every day for better odds. In his dreams, he saw Lycomedes telling his mother they had lost him in the mountain. When the day arrived, Lycomedes took Leo to the base of the mountain. The wind whispered through the trees as they stood side by side. Leo couldn't hide his fear, and Lycomedes could see it in his eyes. To encourage the boy, Lycomedes shared with him some last words.
"Leo, remember that the greatest battle you'll ever face is not against the elements or even the wolves. It's the battle within yourself. Keep your mind focused and your heart steady. Your inner strength will guide you when all else seems lost."
Night fell, and Leo's journey began. With each step, the path grew steeper, and the mountain's shadow swallowed him whole. Leo faced nature's fury. Rain lashed at him, chilling him to the bone, and the wind howled like a beast. In the darkness, Leo heard growls, but luckily, they seemed to disappear. His gut twisted in hunger. He had to find food. Overcoming his disgust, he plucked insects from leaves and chewed on tough, bitter plants. After eating the food, something on the floor caught his eye. There were bones of the size of a boy. Leo took a deep breath. Then he closed his eyes briefly, trying to steady himself. Suddenly, he heard the growls again. He opened back his eyes and spotted the flash of some gleaming eyes. His heart pounded in his chest as the shadows revealed the menacing form of a wolf. Lycomedes' words came to his mind, and Leo fought to find his inner strength. With each passing second, the wolf was closer. And then the wolf jumped towards him. Leo's survival instinct kicked in, and he precisely moved his makeshift weapon to kill the beast. In the end, Leo stood victorious, but not unscathed. Blood dripped from his leg, where the wolf's fangs had found their mark. Leo and his wounded leg needed shelter. He found refuge in a cave and struggled to build a fire. Tears welled up in his eyes. He had never experienced as much pain. He kept trying to build the fire, but sparks fell erratically. When the fire finally crackled to life, he knew he was going to be okay. As Leo resumed his journey, he faced another challenge: finding his way. The fog didn't seem to go away, and Leo felt lost. But Leo didn't give up. He trusted his inner guidance and pushed onward. Step by step, he climbed with determination, lighting his way. And then, after days of struggle, Leo reached the summit. The sun rose, casting a golden light on his tired face. He had conquered the mountain, but more importantly, he had conquered himself. However, as he stood there, the euphoria of his achievement was interrupted by a sharp, searing pain in his injured leg. Leo's eyes widened with shock as the world around him started to blur. He fought to maintain his balance, desperately clutching at the rocks for support. But eventually he collapsed on the rocky ground. The world spun around him as the golden light of the sunrise faded into darkness. Leo's eyes fluttered open, and he found himself in a Spartan bunk. Lycomedes sat silently by his side with a stoic expression on his face. His mentor gave him a reassuring look and said,
"You pushed yourself to the limit, Leo. Your determination led you to the summit, but it also pushed your body past its breaking point."
Leo started to remember what happened on the mountain. He didn't understand how he made it back. Then Lycomedes continued,
"Your father saved my life many years ago on a battlefield. I've always felt a deep debt of honor to him. It's why I've been following you since the start of your trial."
Leo's heart swelled with gratitude for the mentor he had come to respect and trust. Lycomedes' voice grew serious.
"But Leo, I must tell you that in the Agoge you won't always have the luxury of a guardian watching over you. And the next trials will be even more demanding."
Lycomedes' words hung heavy in the air. Leo realized this had just been the first step in becoming a Spartan man.